Green, polarizing figure, the mainstream media would say. But you got to remember, for a man who, when he took the head coaching job, was only the second active black head coach in the modern NFL, Fritz Pollard, as we talked about back on my Black Quarterback History show, was actually a coach in the pre-modern era. But Dennis Green did a lot of good things up here. We're going to talk about his record. We're going to talk about his coaching tree. It reaches far and wide. We're also going to talk about, some of the bad things here. Denny and the media got into it real good up here to the likes that the Sports Gov has never, ever seen between local media and one specific coach. Now, I know in New York and Philly and some of these bigger, Chi-Town, L.A., this was different. This was different because this was, in my opinion, I'll get into it later, but in my opinion, sports reporters actively seeking to get Dennis Green fired by any means necessary, as they say. So we're going to touch on that in a little bit as well. We also got some sound drops for you. You're going to hear from Chris Carter. You're going to hear from Randy Moss. Listen to them. Listen to how they talk about Coach Green. We're also going to read basically a letter from Tony Dungy, and I think that once we go through that'll give you a good sense of what Dennis Green was all about in the end. He made mistakes. He had some issues, no doubt. But, you kind of don't realize it until people are gone, So rest in peace, Dennis. You are definitely a coach. And as you said, you are definitely on the high road, and we will see you on the other side. Let me read a little bit of the chat room here. Sports Done Right at Spreaker.com. Big Jeff Pohl, my brother-in-law, is in the building. What's going on, Jeffrey? And Big Jeff actually brings up a very good point here on Sports Done Right. Folks, Dennis Green loved playing the drums. He was a very good jazz percussionist. And I don't know if there's any YouTube or any old video out there, but if you get a chance or come across some, check it out, man. Dennis Green loved popping the skins, as we like to say. Stagger Lee, we let them off the hook. They are who we thought we are. Of course, the all-time classic Dennis Green rant. I thought about dropping the sound for that, but, we've all heard it so many times. So I just wanted to focus on what Randy Moss said, what Chris Carter said. But, obviously one of the great post-game press conferences ever. I couldn't believe, Arizona, as he said, let him off the hook. He let him off the hook, or they let him off the hook. So we got news about Anquan Bolden. We also got news about Andre Johnson. We also got news another Gopher legacy is hitting the field for our beloved Maroon and Gold. And you have definitely heard of his father and his older brother. We'll tell you who that is in a little bit as well. We're also going to talk about the Big Ten Media Week here that just wrapped up. Ohio State picked to win the Big Ten Conference Championship once again this year. We'll tell you where our beloved Golden Gophers place on that list in the West Division. We'll also touch on some other things as well. We're also going to talk about Peyton Manning. We got Prince Fielder, he's got some issues again. And Carmelo Anthony did a really cool thing that we're going to talk about as well, bringing together some kids and some police officers to start the healing, as people like to say. So before we get into our first break here, I got to welcome the one and only, my beloved wife. She's off on official business in Chi-Town, actually. And I got to say, I miss you, babe. We'll see you tomorrow night. Angie Wright, the First Lady, has joined us on Sports Done Right. And as she says, she is at a work dinner, so she can't really listen, but just wanted to pop in there. So thank you, my lovely, lovely wife, Angie. Appreciate you popping in here for however long it's got to be. So, we got that. We're also going to talk about some of Dennis Green's records, some of the stats. We got some very interesting numbers here on Dennis Green, and we're going to touch on that. Like I said, we're going to read a wonderful letter by Tony Dungy. Can't wait to share that with you. We're going to get into a little NBA, little MLB news, some Major League Baseball. Now, folks, football's starting to come back here. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. We got some inductees going in, Mr. Favre. And the news today, I don't know if you heard, Brett Favre is having his wife endorse it. Or really? We got to laugh at that. His wife is going to do his introduction before his speech. So that doesn't happen too often. I think they said it's only happened one other time. I forgot the player. I had it written down. But so is that a problem if Mrs. Favre gets up there and touts her man? Hey, I don't think so. I mean, if that's who he wants, by all means, let him have it. You know, the jokes were already flying on Twitter a little bit saying that New York Jets reporter must not have been available. Some other things. And I see Bama Boy. Yeah, let's give him a laugh, too, because Bama Boy already out there with his SEC self-trolling us Big Ten people. Little 10 Media Day, crickets. Roll Tide, roll. Oh, Bama. I really hope LSU finds a way to put it to your squad this year, man. I really do. I don't expect it, but I hope so. Anyway, man, Stagger Lee. The Hall of Fame is a joke. No T.O. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. I tend to agree. And we all know why he's not there. My main man's had a little bit of an attitude with some people. And unfortunately, unfairly, fairly, however you want to look at it, that's what's kept him out. He'll get in. Just, he has to. I mean, you know, on some of these stats, he's only behind Jerry Rice. So you're not going to keep him out. But T.O., and T.O. kind of knows it now, too. And T.O. has spoken on this and said, you know, obviously he'd like to do some things differently. It's too bad because the guy's in such physical condition. Hell, man, T.O. might still be playing. And, oh, here she is all the way representing a certain campus in Athens, Georgia, excuse me. She is the smartest woman in sports, not on the radio or on TV. She is the wonderful and lovely and very, 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 very cool lady, Miss Thorny Switch. I love these code names, don't you? What's up, Thorny? And sounds like Thorny's got her ears on. I'm sure she's studying, so thank you for popping in, Thorny. I hope we entertain you tonight. We got lots to get into. So we are going to be coming up to our first break here very shortly. We're going to get everything reset, and then we're going to get into some news and notes. Again, want to say what's up to Doug Stewart, SME, the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. And folks, if you haven't had a chance, or if you didn't have a chance last year to get down to Atlanta for Doug's party, please make sure you get down there September 9th, which is Friday, through the 11th. That's Sunday. And he's got everything set up. It's the same hotel, the Doubletree over in Buckhead. I think the rooms are right around $100. I know there's very limited quantity, so make sure you get God, I wish I could talk tonight. Get your rooms reserved. And yeah, exactly. And get on down there, man. Lots of fun. A great time last year, and it should be only bigger and better this year. Unfortunately, the first lady won't be coming with me this time. Her and the first daughter got a little Lynx set up that they're going to be checking out, the Minnesota Lynx, and hanging out over there with my sister. Has a couple of friends that play on the Lynx, so they're going to take care of my daughter's basketball team and have them over there for a night and watch a game and hang out with the girls and whatnot. So good for them. That's very cool. And Stagger Lee talking about waiting for the convention here. Oh, Big Bill, that's right. The nation's first black president, right? We forgot about Bill. He is speaking tonight on behalf of his wife, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Yeah. Here's what I'm looking for, Stagger, and tell me how you guys feel about this, and we'll kind of divert a little bit into politics here before the first break. Bill Clinton's old. And that heart condition, you know, the heart thing that he went through here a few years back has really kind of slowed his roll and aged him a little bit. Now, he gave a phenomenal speech at the 2008 Democratic Convention for the re-election of Barack Obama. it'll be interesting to see if he can kind of get that same, or I'm not going to say same energy because the gentleman's almost 70 years old now. But it's going to be interesting to see if Big Bill can go and pull that rabbit out the hat one more time, because even more so now than the speech for Obama last year, or the last election cycle, which many people said automatically just guaranteed Obama the election, and I tend to agree with that. But we're going to see if Big Bill can go down and get that rabbit out of the hat one more time for his wife, and see if he can really give you one of those typical Bill Clinton rah-rah speeches. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to check it out, obviously, a little later on this evening after my show, because I'm going to be talking to y'all, but I understand lots of things. So if y'all got to peep out, just keep the gov close, and feel free to put that stuff in the chat room too. Let me know if you are listening, what's going down. But anyway, Bill looks terrible is what Thorny says. Cracking like mud, Bama Boy says. Bama Boy also says it should be about performance on the field, not because you don't kiss the media ass. Alexander City, Alabama owned, should be in the hall. Oh, yeah, T.O., exactly. You're right, Bama Boy, but, and then the real world comes into play, and unfortunately it doesn't work that way. T.O. is going to be in. I think T.O. might be in sooner than people actually think as well. So let's do this, folks. Let's get into our first break here at Sports Done Right. Again, follow Vince Wright on Twitter at the Big Smooth One. And that's the number one after the Big Smooth. Make sure you're following me, or the show, I should say, on Facebook. That's Sports Done Right, WRIGHT. You can also hit us up here in the chat room on Spreaker.com during the show. Make sure you come in here, hit that little chat bubble, looks like the little cartoon bubble, and get on in here and chop it up with us. And also, if you want to call the governor, you can do that at 651-968-0124. Again, 651-968-0124. I'll get that number in the chat room as well. So let's do this here. Let's get a quick little break in here, and we'll be right back. And we will get the show started. Sports Done Right on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Excuse me, but I gotta be candid. Black male under pressure, only the strong can stand it. Ghetto pastures, full of coulda, woulda, shouldas, and caskets. Situations critical, tragic. Still can't figure out how AIDS left magic. But I guess if you make enough money, you'll make magic. It's hard to be all you can be when all that you see is death and disease. Black ministers raping the seeds. In the streets, we ain't escaping the heat, we raising it. Them seeds roaming the same streets, but who raising them? Obama ain't filling them bullets when they grazing them. Senate seats don't get taken when the coroners are praising them. Nope, it ain't phasing none of them cats. Afghanistan, we warn right here where we at. It's a fact, love it or hate it, the economy's makeshift. Still gotta get papered, still dodging the haters. Land of the freezer landfill, smell the hatred. 2000 now, nothing's taboo or sacred. Life's a soap opera, prepared for speed knots landing. I ain't never scared, I'm a black man standing. Imagine living on an all-black planet with tall buildings made of all black granite. No black on black crime is how I plan it. But every black woman be a black man standing. Failure's not an option, cause that's demanded by the earth. She frail, she need a black man standing. Celebrate just MLK, not Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton, or Eldridge Cleaver. How do the government really see us? Integrated, not assimilated, searching for white Jesus. My thesis a work in progress, too much info to process. Nymphos in the projects, birthing babies with limited promise. We in a race for more than land and dollars. We gon' lose if you plan to follow. President's policies is borrowed, sock puppet politics is so hollow. It's a scam on tomorrow. I know we black, y'all, but that's about it. That war overseas, man, that's about chips. Healthcare reform, that's about rich folks and their benefits. Freedom by any means scenes, never been more relevant. Forecast turning credits, and I register my melanin. I be rebelling, military minded with my regiment. Life's a soap opera, prepare for speed knots landing. I ain't never scared, I'm a black man standing. Imagine living on an all-black planet with tall buildings made of all black granite. No black on black crime is how I plan it. But every black woman be a black man standing. Failure's not an option, cause that's demanded by the earth. She frail, she need a black man standing.